Company and part of Bravo Company, armed with M16s and squad automatic weapons, are chasing some 300 of the militiamen, armed with AK-47 assault rifles and RPGs. It's a haphazard, unruly fight over an incredibly obstructed and massive battleground.
It would fatigue the Marine just by looking at the cemetery, because the sight of the cemetery was endless, and it completely surrounded as far as the eye could see.
The Imam Ali Shrine is on a hill at one end of the burial ground, with clusters of homes and aging public buildings encircling it.
People of the Shia faith come from all over the world to see the shrine, and so they have 1,000 meters of really hotels and universities set up to educate. And that's all on a hill around this shrine that looks down on this huge cemetery.
Many Shia from across the globe wish to be buried here near the shrine, hence the massive cemetery, a virtual city in itself of underground catacombs and crowded above-ground tombs and mausoleums, squeezed together in no particular order.
The only way you can literally move 20 feet is by going over, around, squeezing through these huge mausoleums.
As Marines move in search of the enemy, they try to respect the Muslim grave sites, but making their way through the jumbled environment is difficult and leads to a bizarre incident for First Sergeant LeHue.
I'm kind of hopping on top of the crypt stones, and in the middle of taking cover to none for mortar shots, I happen to jump from one crypt to the top of the other crypt and ended up falling through. I noticed a pretty pungent odor, and I looked over to my right, and there was a woman inside of there. She had been dead for probably a year or so that was inside of there. I kind of try to see the humor in everything, so I just said, "Excuse me, ma'am, sorry about the interruption." Stood up inside of there and brushed myself off and climbed up out of there.
Marines have trouble spotting the insurgents because many are taking cover in the underground catacombs. The Americans attempt to clear them all, but many get overlooked.
The Marines would fight 100 meters. They'd have to clear back 50 meters because the militiamen would pop out of the catacombs.
A 360-degree battlefront soon erupts.
There was no really safe area. It was just where you were right now was the safe area.
The shootout in the Najaf cemetery wears on for 72 hours, with August temperatures climbing above 130 degrees in the heat of the day. Dehydration is a constant threat. But what some consider the most deadly threat of all emerges on day 2. A skilled enemy sniper positions himself in a hotel building on the hill, overlooking the graveyard.
He can pick and choose any Marine that exposes himself, because he has the ultimate view from the top down, unobstructed in the front, of all the movements that are down in there. And we have the obstructed view looking from the ground up, and we're also looking at a multitude of random buildings, so we don't know where it's coming from.
The sniper